There is something strange unfolding in our world today. Something subtle, quiet, but powerful enough to change the entire way men and women relate to each other. At first, you can't see it. You just feel it. In conversations. In relationships. In dating. In the way people talk, argue, and even think. Something feels off. Something feels tense. Something feels like a silent competition that no one ever agreed to join, yet everyone is trapped inside. Modern women are not just living their lives anymore. They're competing. Competing with men in ways that didn't exist before. Matching everything men do. Challenging everything men say. Trying to win at a game that wasn't designed for them. And the ironic part is, even when they win, they don't feel like winners. They feel something else entirely. They feel disconnected. Exhausted. Hollow. And quietly losing something they didn't even realize they were sacrificing, themselves. This isn't a blame story. Not against women. Not against men. It's a story about identity. A story about pressure. A story about what happens when someone tries so hard to become something they're not, that they forget who they were in the first place. Women today were raised with messages that sound empowering on the surface, but carry a hidden emotional cost. Be strong. Be independent. Never rely on anyone. Outperform everyone. Don't be soft. Don't be vulnerable. Don't fall behind. Society didn't give them freedom. It handed them a new cage and called it empowerment. No one stopped to ask whether these expectations actually align with a woman's emotional nature. No one asked if this constant pressure to compete would slowly drain her spirit, her softness, her presence, her ability to love deeply. Society simply told her, do everything a man does, or you are not enough. That single message created a psychological war inside her. Because feminine power was never meant to look like masculine power. But she was told it had to. So she learned to push instead of flow. To argue instead of express. To hustle instead of feel. To lead every moment, even when she secretly wants someone else to take the pressure for once. She toughened her voice. Stiffened her posture. Narrowed her emotions. And stepped into a battlefield built for men, not realizing the emotional cost would be far greater than the rewards. She can win, yes. She can outperform, yes. She can rise, yes. But with every victory that requires her to silence her femininity, she loses a little piece of herself. A piece that never comes back in the same way. Inside, she begins feeling tired in a very specific way. Not physical tiredness. Not work tiredness. Soul tiredness. A heaviness behind the eyes. A numbness in the chest. A feeling that she is constantly performing for the world, even when she sits alone in her room. She succeeds, but she doesn't feel whole. She wins, but she doesn't feel grounded. She gains freedom, but loses connection. And somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers, "This isn't me, but I don't know how to stop." Because she can't stop. The moment she pauses, she feels like she's falling behind. Like the world expects more. Like men are watching. Like the system is waiting for her to slip. She feels like the moment she relaxes into her feminine nature, people will call her weak. People will say she isn't enough. So she continues the race, but the finish line never appears. When women step into this competition mindset, something else breaks too: relationships. Because she doesn't just compete at work. She competes at home. She competes in conversations. She competes in everything, even without realizing it. When a man says something, she challenges him. When he tries to lead, she resists. When he tries to help, she proves she can do it herself. When he tries to love her, she stays guarded because vulnerability now feels like failure. She sees partnership not as connection, but as negotiation. She believes letting a man lead makes her powerless. But taking all the leadership makes her exhausted. She believes showing emotion makes her fragile. But hiding emotion makes her cold. She believes trusting a man makes her dependent. But distrusting him makes her lonely. Two masculine energies cannot create harmony. Masculine competes. Feminine connects. When she becomes masculine, and he is masculine, the relationship becomes a power struggle instead of a partnership. There is tension. Distance. Coldness. No polarity. No spark. No oxygen between the flames. Men sense this change too. Some withdraw and give up. Some become passive. Others stop trying because they feel unnecessary. Many don't know where they fit anymore. They want to support women, but women don't want to be supported. They want to lead, but women resist leadership. They want to provide, but women see providing as control. So men quietly step back. And women quietly feel abandoned. Both sides suffering. Both sides confused. Both sides feeling misunderstood. Women today are not losing because they are weak. They are losing because they are exhausted from pretending to be strong in ways that don't nourish them. They are losing because they were told their natural power, emotional intelligence, intuition, softness, connection, resilience, nurturing, compassion, were not real strengths. They were told, your femininity is outdated. Become more like men. But femininity is not outdated. It's oxygen. It's medicine. It's balance. It's the energetic counterpart that gives meaning to masculine action. It's the emotional language that builds real love. It's the intuitive wisdom that makes families strong and relationships deep. It's the presence that makes a house feel like home. It's the warmth that softens a hardened world. A woman does not lose her strength when she embraces her femininity. She discovers it. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she feels something missing. A quiet evening. A drive home. A silent car ride. A night she sits on her bed staring at the ceiling. A moment when she wonders, why am I so tired? Why doesn't success feel fulfilling? Why do I feel disconnected? Why do relationships feel harder now? Why does it feel like I am constantly in survival mode? She begins to notice that the things she used to enjoy no longer move her. That she can't feel deeply anymore. That she has lost emotional softness. That she feels guarded around men. That intimacy feels threatening. That letting go feels impossible. That trust feels dangerous. That love feels like a risk she can't afford. And then the burning questions begin. The questions she never dared to ask out loud. When did competition replace connection? When did proving my strength become more important than expressing my heart? When did I start believing that feminine energy is inferior? Why do I feel less like a woman and more like a soldier? Why am I fighting battles I never wanted to fight? Why does independence feel so lonely? Why does freedom feel like pressure? Why does success feel like emptiness? Why do I feel like I am performing masculinity instead of living my truth? And the deepest question of all. What am I losing in the process of trying to not lose to men? These questions burn because they reveal something painful. The competition is not with men. The competition is with the version of herself she was forced to become. But there is a way back. A slow, gentle, powerful return to her true self. Not by abandoning her strength, but by redefining it. Not by giving up her ambition, but by embracing her emotional nature alongside it. Not by stepping away from success, but by allowing herself to feel while she succeeds. A woman does not need to choose between strength and softness. She needs to integrate both. She can be assertive without being aggressive. She can lead without rejecting guidance. She can be independent without isolating herself. She can be powerful without being hardened. She can be emotional without being weak. She can be feminine without being controlled. When she returns to herself, she becomes magnetic, radiant, grounded, connected, more powerful than ever. And men respond differently too. When a woman rests in her feminine energy, a man naturally rises into his masculine energy. He feels needed again. He feels purposeful. He feels inspired. He feels alive. Polarity returns. Chemistry returns. Connection returns. Because men and women were never meant to compete. They were designed to complement. To balance. To co-create. To bring out the best in each other, not the worst. Modern women are not losing because they are failing. They are losing because they are fighting battles that shouldn't exist. And the moment they stop competing with men and start reconnecting with themselves, everything changes. Their emotions soften. Their relationships deepen. Their identity stabilizes. Their energy returns. And they no longer feel like they're running a race with no finish line. The truth is simple, a woman's greatest power is not found in becoming a mirror of men, but in becoming fully, unapologetically, beautifully herself. Because the world doesn't need more women acting like men. The world needs women who remember what it feels like to be women. And when she remembers that, she stops losing. She starts living.